Probably hear me typing, all kinds of things happening. Apologies. We're not even starting with the VTuber thing. I'm not gonna go through that same joke a third time. It's time. Welcome everybody. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. We are on our last day of the stream. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. Perhaps it's still Sunday morning for some of you. Lazy Sunday. There's this thing that's been said before. Never experienced one. I hope you're well. So far, we have been designing this whole new sport for the world of Stormfellers, and subsequently the players that go with it. What's up, Nessie? Good to see you. Welcome. And time to close this out. Close out the old stream. What's up, Lucifer J Flim Flame? I'm seeing the chat takes a little bit longer in my window that I've got over here. That's interesting. Just slight delay. That's alright. Got one more place to just let folks know. Actually, I think I'll skip Instagram. I do feel like I'm bothering people with this stream, so that's fun. Don't want to do that any more than I have to. So we'll do a quick recap of where we've been so far, and as people join, we'll maybe give them a little bit more. But essentially, one second. Why isn't this going up? Copy paste. You with me? You with me here, friend? You know what? I'll just do it over here. Fine. I'll find my own way. What's up, Clay Curry? Welcome. Join or don't. That's what I'm writing at this point. All right, so what we've got is a game called Rush Whirling. Rush Whirling takes place. Jail Bima rotains. Sure. I suppose. Rush Whirling takes place in a dugout bowl, sphere, arena, right? So all of your spectators can look down into the game, which is really cool, I think. And I don't know what Gel Beam Routines is. I can't even pretend to know what it is. So what happens is you've got goals in the center, weaved baskets, 3, right? We've got 3 different teams playing here. And along the side, we've got characters players really run along the sides of the bowl, right? So they need to be fast, they need to be agile, they need to be able to sort of have that traction to run at an angle. It's not just on a flat ground, right? And so that's our bowl treader, and this is our first character that we came up with, Gingerbeer. Of course, you could have many different players, right? This is just one team that we've been designing. Yes, and you definitely, you've been commenting on my videos for so long, you definitely know that I am. And so, this particular character is running along the edge and is passing to his teammates, right? Then we have our goaltender of sorts, our weave block. In this case, it's a very small character who's using his tail to block, right? Okay, that's great. I know you've. Anyway, yeah, I think this was from that was from something we said at the end. And what we're working on right now is our threader, which is someone who is our striker, our goal setter, I suppose. our ace, right? Someone who's making and scoring the points. And so one thing that I've thought about since last night, we were kind of messing around with different face shapes, one with a large chin, one with sort of a snoot of sorts that seemed to be the favorite, despite some problematic things from his past. What's up, Sinwarworth? Welcome. Biscute, welcome. Pyramidus Big Mick, I'm very, very happy for you. You've said it many, many times under my videos. I appreciate it. All the best with it. So, let's see. Yes, this is all from the world of Stormfellers, an animated series that I am indeed working on. Were you not aware? And let's see. I want to be able to hide some of these and kind of start a little bit fresh with our gold threader. So today what we're trying to do, right, we're trying to finish up our threader character. And then we have a fourth team member, right? So we have 12 total characters. There are 12 total players in game, and the rush ender would be the last one. They're the ones that sort of playing defense a little bit more out on the field, not just as a goalie. So rush whirling, right? You're twirling using this casting staff, right? This sort of hooked staff on both ends, in order to keep the weave in play, which is a sort of hollowed out frisbee, right? It's gotta be twirling on the stick. And one thing I was thinking about is it would be cool to have like a different kind of instrument for the threader, but maybe for simplicity. Oh, there we go. That's the line. That's the layer I wanted to get rid of. Maybe for simplicity, they're using the same kind of tool. Same kind of staff as everyone else, right? Keep it a little bit more uniform. I don't want things to get too complicated. Does that work with you guys? Is that okay? I think you can still toss, and I think with the right sort of release, you're getting a similar frisbee. Yeah, you're getting a similar release or throw as you would with this sort of addle shaped sort of banana scoop that we were working with before. So glad to have you folks, and if you're interested at all in what I am doing, feel free to chime in. This is a sort of a collaborative process with you guys. We're kind of throwing out different ideas and figuring out, you know, what sort of sport we want this to be. We're honing in on something I think that's pretty cool, and relatively unique as well. Yeah. So feel free to let me know how your days are going in the old chat. And we're live both on YouTube and Twitch. And for folks that are just here for the first time today, we are running the virtual booth sale, which is, you know, the whole reason of doing this weekend, right, is my work schedule has been very crazy, and getting Stormfellers finished has been crazy as well. I've barely had the time to work on videos, obviously, for those who are sort of keeping track of my uploads, let alone make like appearances at conventions or have booths at conventions. This year, I'm hoping to be at Lightbox in California again, but not with a booth, just because they have particular rules that have to do with like having a booth multiple years in a row, which I did for 2 years, and so that the third time they were like, all right, let's just do like a little gap in here. So I still plan to see, you know, some of the folks that I work with and other artists that I know in person there, but I won't have a booth. So the idea is instead to have something akin to a Comic-Con booth, right, where you can come up to the table. I just happen to be drawing a lot more than I normally would, and you can be a booth barnacle for 3 full hours, with little to no consequences. It's actually encouraged in this one time. So yeah, that's the goal here. So much like a Comic-Con booth, I've got stuff that's for sale and sort of exclusive and things that are just on sale for this weekend over at the shop on booksales.com/shop, which should be in the description to this video, or if not, you can type in what's on the screen there. All right. So our threader, I didn't get any consensus from you folks on changing. Rather, I didn't get any objections to changing the staff to be like sort of uniform across the various different players. So, without objection, I will proceed without it. I love our head that we've got here for this character. Kind of cool to see what sort of we did this is almost like, you know how like the NBA's got the sort of the white silhouette. I think that all the different MLB, right? There's like the silhouetted player doing the sport. It's not any particular player, right? That's kind of what we've got here for the threader. Sort of just the idea, the aspect of being a threader, but it's not necessarily our player character. And it does seem like you're gonna need about two hands to be casting with the caster, right? The staff. What's up, Victor? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Welcome. And forgive me, folks, if my vibes are less than ideal. It's been a little bit of a long weekend. And I hope I do not offend, much as SpongeBob's breath once did. So we've got, I'm messing around with a little bit of a different brush than usual. This is a brush I tend to use for shading, but I've found that you can actually make it a little bit smaller, and it makes for a nice kind of shape block out without having to like worry too much about like line quality and things like that. Uniformity between the tools make more sense. There we go. So far, we're unanimous. Awesome. Appreciate it. And what if we kind of did, I know like maybe kind of bigger arms is something we were thinking about for this role. Kind of do the hammer pants shape maybe. And the hope being that we're kind of like halfway through designing a character with this guy, and the hope was we would be able to get to the rush ender by the end of the stream today. I do have a hard cutoff beyond just the planned 6 p.m. You know, for simplicity of the days, because we've got an airport run to do, pick up some friends. So we'll see how much we can get done in that amount of time. So feel free to draw along, interact, don't interact, keep the stream on, turn the stream off, send me a couple death threats, you know, whatever you want. It's your option. Go for it. I think Brent the other day was asking about games that I've been playing, things like that, and I've not had much time at all for games, although I do think there's a couple things on Switch that I was messing with a little while ago that I can't quite remember now. However, today I got a little bit of time on what, funnily enough, is now a dead game, which is Crash Team Rumble, which I know is not like, it was not a grandly successful game. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Because I played so much of Crash 4 and enjoy the idea of like a competitive platformer, sort of MOBA almost, collect-a-thon MOBA, I had a lot of fun with it, and I was able to unlock Spyro, which is cool. If you didn't get a chance to see, there's like a big video this last 2 weeks about what is now publicly known as the canceled Crash 5 that was being worked on by my good buddy Nick and a few other folks, John Lauren. And yeah, they had canceled a fifth Crash game very prematurely, Activision. That kind of the summary of what is a long video is Activision, because Activision, and they were frightened of the like first month of sales, which was actually like decent sales. It wasn't the gangbusters that they were sort of anticipating. So they canceled Crash 5, which was already in development and would have been a crossover with Spyro. Rather sad. But now Toys for Bob is indie, and I believe the word on the street. Hey, there's a wolf spider by my foot. That's cool. Hey, buddy. The belief is that Spyro 4 is currently what they're working on. So, yeah. Wouldn't be my first death threat this cute. Welcome to being on the internet. Speaking of Crash Bandicoot, wouldn't have been my first death threat. And I gotta say, I've seen a lot of reaction to that video of like, oh, and I know that the internet is not a monolith, and fan bases and things are not a monolith. But if there's ever a fan base that didn't deserve more things, it would be the Crash fan base. Only from the standpoint of like, now everyone's like mourning what could have been. Like, oh, it was in such good hands. They were about to make like this epic game. It was going to be a crossover with Spyro. Look at like they had Tiny Titan. There's all these things that were like what fans wanted. It was going to be so great. But I was there. I was there when Crash 4 came out, and I saw the subreddit. I saw what people were saying. I knew they weren't particularly jazzed, and not all of them, but there was some very big outcry about it doesn't look the same. And yeah, there's nostalgists and rough and rude people in a lot of fan bases, but in my experience, bar none, the Crash fan base, who likes to hold on to something ugly by being ugly. Definitely one of the worst ones. Surprising, right? Not something you'd expect. Hope Toys for Bob finds success. They deserve it all. Yeah, so they are now indie, which is great, which means that Activision will no longer have control over what they're doing. I think they're partnered with Xbox, which is like going around Activision, who now owns, like, they're technically in the same spot, but I think they have a little bit more agency, which is nice. Oh yeah, tons of layoffs. Yeah, that's gaming this year. It's rough out there. I'm relatively glad for what, little jobs and things I've been able to be a part of this last year, primarily like trading card illustration. Some stuff you folks are probably familiar with. It'll make light of day sometime soon. Are we thinking bird for this little dude? But yeah, it's been tough for artists this last couple years. Last 2 years in particular. And it's sad. It's sad how they're treated. It's sad how a lot of people are treated. Yeah. Anyhow, the goal is not to be a downer. But I did enjoy some Crash Team Rumble. So I started playing it. I turned it on this morning, and I wake up early most days, and so Sunday morning was just not the time. It's already a very small player base, and so it took, I think, a while. I was just kind of working on some client work, drawing on my iPad while I was waiting for the lobby to fill out with like enough for fill out with 8 players, which I thought was kind of funny. It took a very long time, and once they did, it was like a full team of people who were like level 500, and me and 3 other people that were like under level 10, which is really funny. It was an absolute blowout. But as the day got on, more people were awake and playing. It got better, and it was enjoyable. I've played it before. There's been times where it kind of just didn't really click, and maybe I was just tired enough this weekend that I was like, yeah, I want to collect Wumpa a bunch. That seems like a fun time. And I unlocked Spyro. It was fun. You can fly, you can charge, you can ground pound. He's got a lot of tools in his arsenal. And yeah, that was fun. Oof. That tends to happen when player bases shrink. Only the veterans stick around for the most part. Exactly. Yeah, happens with RTS games. I feel like it would be a great opportunity for. I mean, I see this a lot, and people kind of give it flack. But it is a good time to use bots as players for your first, couple games, just to get people used to it. Like I know that like Supercell will do that with like Brawl Stars and stuff. When you first unlock a new character, your first 100 trophies with that character will be against bots, and it instills a sense of confidence, right? But it also just gives you a little bit of like, oh, this is what it's like to win. This is what it's like to play this character, and it slowly on-ramps you toward difficulty. And so that would be a nice solution for that, where, I mean, especially for lobby and load times, that'd be really nice. I'm thinking about this character being a little bit more like my Enyo, the Bard character, and maybe having 4, almost like a griffin, having like 4 bird feet and no wings. Having bots is a good stand-in for new players, but also just in general. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Fox McCloud? Welcome. Speaking of old cartoon character video games, I feel like I saw an indie game, and I like bookmarked it the other day. That was there was a sort of a Twitter trend that was like, people say that my game is just like this, like Castaway. People were saying, oh, it's just like Link's Awakening. And it's like, yeah, that was the developer's like point, right? He was trying to make a Link's Awakening like. And someone did the same with they were like, oh, it's just like Star Fox, and then they were like showing their indie game. I was like, oh, well then I'd like to play it. To me, the biggest thing in like space combat games is turning. That's like the most boring, clunky thing, is anytime you have free roam space, even in Star Fox 64 to a degree, right? Is just the long, like, if you're trying to engage in dogfights with other characters and you're just like both turning, maybe skill issue, right? But it feels tedious, and I've yet to really play a game that solves that. I had the same problem with like Star Wars Squadrons, that Ubisoft Star Fox game, Starlink, right? No Man's Sky, even to a degree, although I don't think you really get in many dogfights with that. Lego Star Wars, like the recent one, turning in ships is very difficult. And so to me, I feel like Star Fox is best when it's on rails. And I feel like there's such a big opportunity there for more Star Fox games on rails. Make really interesting levels. You can kind of curate the experience you're going to have. It's a little bit of an arcade thing. Maybe throw in some roguelite elements. I'm sure this has all been said before, but you know, Zero wasn't bad. I think it was mainly the gamepad insistence that was tough for that. Oh yeah. What games are you guys playing? Not much of a pilot. Yeah, exactly. Huge skill issue. Oh, I was actually talking about Crash Team Rumble, which is different. It's like a platforming arena game where you're collecting Wumpa fruit and depositing it in your bank, sort of like a capture the flag, but 1,000 fruit at a time. Crash Team Racing is also a very good game. I think that to me is the Crash game that I like because of the PlayStation and everything way back when. That's my favorite Crash game. The original. Or that's what I like. What I associated Crash with the most, because I didn't play the original PlayStation games like when they were out. The first game I played was racing. My parents were, I think, busy with. I mean, this wasn't the justification. It was also just a nice thing that they were doing. But they were doing like their taxes over the weekend, and they're like, "Oh, well then let's rent a PlayStation from Blockbuster to like keep Brooks occupied or something." I don't know. That was the whole idea, right? It just happened to be. But that was one of the games I rented. I don't know what else I rented, but that's definitely what I spent the most time playing. And then I had friends with Crash Bash, the party game, and we played a lot of that. But my only experience with Crash Bandicoot for the longest time was the multiplayer games, not the actual games. Which, given the Mario Kart sales numbers, seems to be similar with Mario players as well. Dogfighting in space games seems like it's hard to make fun since it's about trying to get behind someone or getting someone away from your rear. Exactly, yeah. Rail Shooter fixes that. Exactly. I grew up playing the GameCube Star Fox. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Upon looking at the face again, it looks kind of problematic. Still thinking of adjusting the face or something Griffin inspired. Yeah, I mean, it's not actually. I was making the joke that like because people were choosing between these two different heads. I was saying that this one was a racist. So just it's a joke, complete joke. But yeah, we can still mess with the head a little bit. Griffin would be cool. I think just because we're going that direction with the limbs and stuff. And remember, the rules for Stormfellers, or lack thereof, is that we're not trying to nail one particular animal. That is what Shackleton is for. If we want a hummingbird, a crocodile, a possum, a lamb, a koala, a wombat, that's where you go for that. But Stormfellers characters are abstract, Jim Henson-esque, and combinations of different shapes you'll see, and simplifications thereof. Anyway, what sort of games are you folks excited about or playing these days? I've kind of found myself at a place where I'm playing so little. I make so little progress. Oh, Thousand Year Door. I was definitely playing a lot of Thousand Year Door and Earthbound recently. Been trying to be better about RPGs and finishing them. But I'm almost like I'll keep up with like Nintendo Directs and Indie Directs and things like that. But I'm not holding my breath at all times in order to like what new game is coming out. Silk Song, obviously. Big deal, huge deal, right? But I'm less like, oh, these are the games I'm excited that are coming out. I'm more like, this is the hour of the week I'm excited about because I might be able to play a game then. And also feel motivated to do so. Just old people problem. This is why no one watches the stream, is because I'm an old man who doesn't have enough time for video games. How can you relate to me? Yeah, exactly. No worries, Clay. It's all, you know, it's all workshopping and spitballing and stuff. We were very squirrel. We were very squirrel with this guy for a while, and he's still very squirrel. Perhaps more than usual, but it's all good. It's all fun. Let's see. Let's finish off his staff here. His whirling staff. His whirling caster. Let's see. I guess the whole leg is behind that. Hopefully that's not too much of a tangent. Yeah, we should a bit more of this leg there. Oh, you know what? Just add feathers. There we go. Problems solved. I was working on some client work earlier today that was, speaking of mythical creatures, was like kind of that sort of dragon wings. I was trying to get them all kind of spread out in an interesting way. And because my brain's a little fried, I was like, man, am I an idiot? More than usual? It's taken me a minute. I think I got to something good. Anyhow. Oh yeah, so Mother 3, that's awesome. Kind of learning Japanese. So you're playing it in Japanese. That's got to be very difficult if you're not like completely fluent in being able to read it. Yeah, just busy with other stuff. Totally get it. Oh, that's cool. What's the name of that game, Clay? I'm interested. A game that teaches you Japanese. Realizing the sun is just directly on my chin. Let me try and fix that. This camera's already kind of blowing out my lighting as it is. There we go. Maybe a little better. Yeah, it's better. Eastward. Oh yeah, Eastward. Hello from Kazakhstan. Hey there, Kazakh-dub. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Chance of Sinar is a language learning game. Cool. Learn Japanese to survive. Too real, man. No, that sounds good. I know that, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are Duolingo streakers, but if I was gonna really commit to a language, I don't know that Duolingo would be the most efficient way to do that. Yeah, Eastward was very fun. I started playing like the first hour of that. Good looking game, and I think they've got some DLC now, which I think was I can't remember if the DLC was paid or not, but I did see that it was like separate from the main game. Like maybe you didn't have to beat the game to access that. It's like sort of a side chapter, sort of a filler arc, if you will. Let's see. Yeah, games are fun. I have made a bigger effort to finish games over the last little while. Because for a while it was very easy to just obtain and not beat. Let's see. Unless, Clay, there is something problematic about this head that I'm not seeing, in which case we can fix that as well. awesome. Kelsey, if you're watching, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Huge, means a ton. I actually was thinking of something here, folks. Hey there, Policy Maker. Welcome back. Good to see you. No idea to feel about Duolingo. You know, here's something about Duolingo. I know, like, when people will say, you know, hard to really apply what you're getting. Lingo Deer, interesting. I wonder if it's a little bit more effective of a learning app. But I know, for instance, like I've got a friend who like is trying to keep his streak up, and he'll be like, "Oh no, it's 10 o'clock or it's 11 o'clock. I gotta do my streak. I already froze my streak for this week or something like that." And then he'll just open up it's like a math or like music like task you can do instead of learning languages, and it's just a way to keep the streak going. And that to me seems like the more compelling part of it, not the actual language. Like what they've built is such a heuristically, intrinsically motivating or extrinsically motivating platform that makes you concerned with streaks more so than being concerned with the language. Yeah, so that's just my thoughts. If you're using Duolingo and you feel like it's working, all the best to you. So something I was thinking, folks, just as a nice little thing at the end of the weekend here, if you make an order on our shop, including folks who already have, this weekend, if you have like a sketch request, I can like include that sketch request in your shipment as well, if you'd like. And maybe I'll just add that onto the screen. Let's see, here we go. Can I duplicate? We're doing it live. Duplicate. Yeah. It's working. It's working. Okay. And we'll make that a little smaller. And, yeah, anyway. I tried forcing myself to learn a language by playing a long RPG before. Yeah, you've got a lot of language learning stamina between that and Mother 3. Yeah, man, that seems like it would be. I feel like my reading, you know, I'm what you'd call an avid reader, and my patience to sit through even, you know, RPG text that I'm understanding wears pretty thin sometimes. Let's see. Oh, we also need to give him his wristbands. His orange wristbands here. And I'd like to work on the face a little bit. Maybe try a different head. We have this one right now. And let's actually bring this in with it. This feels like a safe design, which, you know, it happens sometimes. Let's see, can I turn this almost completely off? I'm thinking along the lines of sort of what we were aiming for, like someone who's got a sharp eye, crack shot, a good strong arm. A good set of horns, you know. I don't know why that would be the solution here. Let's see the new face. Oh my. It is all about pattern recognition, I think. C word, use over and over again, finally get the sentence. I totally, yeah, I see that. Like, it's sort of the immersion, right? It's like all kinds of context. It's helping you. Oh my. Let's see. That's something. Let's hide the head all the way. Does, let's see, I think here in the States, a lot of people are getting tomorrow off. Start of a new month. It's Labor Day. Any particular plans y'all have for tomorrow? Hey, Chameleon Ice, welcome. Energy levels are in an okay-ish place. Perhaps more negative than I'd like them to be, but it's just the result of that's just how some weekends are. But very, very good to have you. Very glad to have you. Welcome, welcome. We've got to recap for folks, we've got 2 out of our 4 sport players, teammates, roles, if you will, made, and we're honing in on a 3rd with the hope to finish a 4th by the end of the stream. For some reason I'm thinking of that fish that like spits the bugs off the leaves. I forget the name of that. It's just a fish. It's just a fish, y'all. Just a fish. Let's see. Oh, you know what would be cool? Because we have the feathers, right? It's another, sort of spiny character. But let me do this. Again, open to your suggestions, folks, but I know it's day 3 and we're on the sleepy side. You know him as you might know him as Knuckles, but that is not the form this particular character will take. Go for a bit of a Akida head, and that fits with sort of our feathery body, and sort of along the same lines of the montremes, right? Like partially bird-like, like a platypus is. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles travel to Tokyo to encounter Shadow. What's the best way to start a character design in your opinion? Oh, I'm missing a lot of chat. Hold on one second. Not just a fish, they are the fish. Yeah, a little tired, a little discouraged on a few fronts, but it's all good. Thank you, Chameleon Nice. For a third day in a row, I'm horribly busy, but at least I have a chance to say hi. Well, hello, Haywire. No problem. If it was any other weekend, I'd be in the same exact boat. Salmon fish. Yeah, Echidna. So I think the best way to start is with shape and, you know, archetypical concept, right? Whether you have a portion of the purpose of what the character's supposed to fit, or a new need that you have, right? I wish I had ideas, but I'm spending all my creative juices on costumes. Well, do that. Do that instead, Sin. Don't waste them on this stream. What's an OCT? I'm curious. Original character challenge? There's nothing else in my head. That's almost where I am at this point. I feel like there's room for a goopy character. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea, Policy. I think maybe even our rush ender could be sort of goopy. Because then they could stall you with walls of goo. Ooh, I like the little nose at the end there. That's cool. Doesn't even make sense. Look at how far this oxygen has to travel. Whoa, what are we doing? Oh, that's ink brush. Let's see. Very octillery. Original character tournament. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Where are we going? We don't have to make sense exactly. My thoughts, precisely. All right, so now we have a little bit too much neck on this guy, I think. We don't have a name for them yet. We could potentially go feminine. I mean, we're already halfway there. I mean, to repeat some, I get so caught up, I don't know about you guys, with being careful to not repeat, you know, design elements or concepts. And yet, you know, some of the most successful designers and conceptors are repeating sort of the language of design. You know, some of them to an almost ridiculous degree, like Akira Toriyama. May he rest in peace, right? So this is sort of this sort of ruffled, flared neck that I gave to Chichery, who is also, you know, a Stormfellers character. And you know what? I'm not too worried about it. This sort of heart shape frame to the face is what I recently gave to last month's backpack, Tortiga, the poison botanist. But I ain't worried. We're gonna have repeating shapes across this great island. Actually, keep that a little bit more pointed. My plans are to work on something I have a huge deadline for tomorrow, so I won't be joining the rest of the American Day offers, but more power to them. We got something due on the 13th. That is rather large in scale and time commitment. And I don't know, I've been a little bit putting off and taking on things that pay now, things like that, instead. But the 13th waits for no man. If it could. Let's see. See a haywire? I made this guy boopable. Perfect. Echidnas are marsupials. Yeah! Oh yeah, that's right. It's just female marsupials that have the pouch. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Can see him dipping the long snoot in the glass for a drink. Exactly. Yeah, I don't think there's even a mouth. I think he just kind of newts. How about bird feathers shaped like fins? That's an idea. Do I miss not being at Lightbox this year? No, I like that I don't have to haul out the entire booth, and it was great having Tay, but like a second person and like trying to have new stuff available and like advertise it and all that stuff. I'm happy to just be an observer this year, and you know, hopefully by Lightbox there will be a certain amount of Stormfellers released, which would be great. But I also don't have to be like promoting it or teasing it the way I have for a couple years now. So that'll be a nice soul weight debt relief. And there's just things that you don't get to do when you're at the booth the whole time. So that'll be nice. A little bit more relaxed, I think. Is a mouth a snoot a snout or a moot? Yeah, people have been asking that for many years. I do believe that snout feels right. It's so nice. Tay showed me an absolutely adorable video of a porcupine the other day. Porcupine. I was just going for a new pronunciation there. Trying it out. Didn't stick. It was very large. It was very, like, maybe overweight, but very fluffy. And it was like trying to get over a tree, like a downed tree. It wasn't even that thick. And I think it was also stuck on a branch, but it was making so much noise. It was like so grumpy. And its quills were so thin that I was like, oh, I just want to hug it. And I know I can't. I know I shouldn't. So I like that this echidna could be huggable. Proboscis. Yeah, that's it. But for it to be a proboscis, unfortunately, this character now has to have gigantic butterfly wings. And them's the rules. Okay, I really like our threader. Let me take out some of this for some reason black foot space here, and I don't know that the angle is perfect here. Let me flip it. See all the mistakes. Yeah, okay, this needs to be fixed up a bit, and we'll just take out the center. A little bit of a pro tip for folks that get stuck with lines. Lines are just as malleable as anything else. Sometimes I'll do this. I'll take full silhouetted shapes, and then you can sort of carve what you want the lines to look like afterwards. You can pet the line, continue to sculpt the lines afterwards. But a lot of times shapes are more important. Get out of here, gnat. They never tell you that with houseplants come great gnats. And generally gnat-free, but this week I've gotten like 2 or 3. A little annoying. Looks much better so far. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is a cool head. It's the one that we had. And you know what it did was it took us down a bird path for a bird body that we then solved with an echidna head, echidna-esque, and I like it. And to me, someone with a long nose is good at making goals. Just not even remotely logical, but it feels right. It feels right. Let's see, where do we wrap her? Orange headband. Because there are sort of some aesthetic qualities to a lady with not tied back hair, but like a hair band of sorts to keep your feathers out your face, that we can adapt to this. Although I like the head shape so much that I don't really want to add these extra shapes to it. Maybe she could be scarfed up with the orange too. So far we've established a rule and broken it on both subsequent characters, if I was to do that. That's not terrible. Still keep the volume of the head, I think. And let's prove our theory. Get rid of everything to do with the head underneath it. That's cool. Oh my goodness, 100 messages with Restream. Thank you, Restream. What's up, Rito? Welcome back. The results of the armadillo? There we are. It's Huck, the weave block. Our goaltender. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, he's using the tail to block things. He's got the flaps. He's got the keratin-esque armor on the back. And it's the most two animals stuck together of any Stormfellers thing I've ever done. Need the headband. Okay, yeah. Could be a belt. That's true. It's good manes. Well, thank you. Big nose, big blocks. It's the same as all this time. It's true. Love the scarf on Huck or on. I don't think we did one for this character. So yeah. Yeah, I liked the idea of few things are sort of uniform with this. Because it's so cross species, but the bands are the same size, and so what barely fits around Gingivir's neck or head goes all the way around Huck's neck as a big scarf. It actually could be much poofier, but I think he sort of twisted it up a little bit. And the same for our threader here. Names for the threader, y'all, as I add a layer of color to her. I'm gonna play around in this sort of yellow, maybe even limeish green space. See what sticks. Where'd he go? There it is. Let's see. On Huck. Yeah, scarf on Huck. With the Echidna, what about a huge sword with a dagger attached? A crossbow that shoots swords and daggers. Hey, you're in the right space for anything not a sport. I think she would very quickly get disqualified. Is this concept of combining animals sort of the standard for making up Stormfellers? No, I mean, the standard is not animals, is the idea, right? It's like, it can't be a thing that it needs to be abstracted away enough. Like, even Kermit the Frog, right, is frog-like, but abstracted. It's the sort of Jim Henson sensibilities is what I like to apply to things. So simplified, abstracted, and so you look at the characters from Stormfellers, and it's clear like what if they're reptilian or mammalian or a crab, right? But it's not like it's just sort of akin to. They're in the same ballpark of. But no, they're not supposed to be like two. Like, I think something that does that is like Last Airbender does that, right? Where they're like, this is a this and a this, right? This is a mole and a badger or something like that, you know. But not the goal here. The goal here is just simple shapes, abstracted, goofy, somewhat cartoony. Like I might take even these characters and put another pass on them for like sort of simplicity, right? When they eventually emerge in the world for real. But yeah, did we all expect this character to be yellow? Yeah, and she still might be yellow. Not if she took out the referee too. Yeah, exactly. This is now a hostile game. Oh, thank you, Tay. I appreciate it. We're looking for lady names for the Akida. If anyone's got them. Less about basing on any specific creature, more about shapes and designs. Exactly. So they might start from something like that, from a species or a... But it's its own world. And like I was saying, like Shackleton is the world where it's definitely an animal, right? That's definitely a lamb. That's definitely a hummingbird. That's definitely a koala, right? And Stormfellers is different. It's its own thing. It's its own little world. Yeah, we can definitely aim yellow for this, for sure. Something sort of gold yellow would be nice for our threader. She's very complimented by the orange. And we'll color pick that orange for this. And I think being yellow and vibrant like this makes sense to be sort of the star of the team. Is supporting, trying to look good, the lead singer of the sport, as it were. I think that eye is just a little off. Give it a little fix. There we go. That's better. Nice. Oh, she's great. And then we just need a little bit kind of darker, maybe brown for her. Oh, I didn't. For her limbs and wrists and stuff. Although maybe it could be the same as, yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Keep it simpler. Keep it one color for the non-feathered bits. I feel like she has a PH in her name. Yeah. Talks to the Daffy Duck. Yeah, she's definitely Newton. She's definitely maybe even nonverbal. She's the best dang rush whirler you've ever seen. That's a great call. Name. Penelope. Let's see. Oh, gotta get her rush colored in and her casting. What a great overall game we've come up with. I'm excited about this. So this gives us a little bit of time for our last player. And of course, as Awkward Nessie already has been doing, you can feel free to make your own team of rush whirlers, following sort of the same logic, and tag me on the old socials. It's a fun challenge for sure. Does she need Does she need the belt of orange? It'd be nice to break up this shape just a tiny bit. Kind of an opposite midriff. Maybe there's some, logic to needing to be visibly more orange than others, right? Cool. These characters are also just alternate universe OCs for Fillmore. It's a little bit of a deep cut there. But yeah, there. If I do this. Now she's from Fillmore. Ooh, Frida. Who said Frida? Tay? Oh, heck yeah. Love Frida. That's awesome. Penelope, yeah. Phoebe. Yeah, Frida is it. We have a consensus. Let's find this layer real quick. In fact, this name is actually so good. Do you want to come on as a story credit for Stormfellers today? Oh wait, you already have it. Okay, let us put her into a group and pull her up here, maybe a little bit smaller. Drop her behind our puck. And I'm gonna get rid of that "we are designing" thing because it's just taking up real estate. Sweet. Loving it. Committing a bit of a sin that I don't normally, which is like shrinking, like the actual shrinking the work that I have already done. Like, this Frida was a certain resolution, and then without copying it, I just dragged it. You know what? I'm not okay with it. Did I shrink her down actually? Hold on. I did. Okay, let's make a copy in there that's still the original resolution, even if it's subtly about the same size. I'm just weird like that, sorry. I've had enough, I actually had a bit of a horror story that turned out to be fine, but one of my first illustrations for a big company that I was like, this has to go well, I'm trying to make a good impression, and then I realized that the resolution of the document is just, I was working at such a small size compared to what it should have been, like close to half the size of what it should have been. And I was able to like remedy it and fix it, but that was a cold sweat inducing moment. All right, how are we doing? Frida people, a story critic. Is that what you want me? You're already a co-writer in the credits. Is Threader and Shredder going to be confusing? It could be, but it's Bowl Shredder and Threader. Yeah. Story critic credit. I think, yeah. Tay and chat spotted. DPI part is easy to overlook when I'm working on. Yeah. nice to have such chill music. Oh, it literally is a playlist I found, you know, the day that we started streaming by Harris Heller on Spotify. And I thought that it was just, you know, streaming music that you could use. And for the most part it is. You know, it's called Stream Beats, so I figured it would be like copyright free. And then I did end up yesterday having to mute a portion of, it was like one song's worth that came up on the playlist. This, I know you guys can't see the gnat, but I can, and it's bothering me a lot. But yeah, there's like one song that got copyright claimed on yesterday's stream, which is what I was trying to avoid. Not a huge deal, but oh well. Okay. Where is? We've got a lot of layers going on now. All right. So does our rush ender also? Yes, our rush ender definitely also has one of these staves, but they're not as worried about using it, I think. How are we feeling, folks? Oh, I'm glad you're getting a little bit of writing time, Tay. What about thread slinger or weave threader? In case it would have to change. Yeah, that would be cool. Weave threader. Frida Threader is what I'm reading on screen now. Frida Threader. Frida people. I'm let's see. You have to mute it again, but I do love this vibe. Yeah, it's good music. It's nice little. It's hard to find the right vibe. Thanks, little fox. Thanks for being here. Thank you. All right. Yeah, currently accepting rush under suggestions. There was a suggestion earlier about making them sort of gelatinous along the same lines as Biko, right? We've broken free of sort of following something that's like echoing the party of Stormfellers. Thanks, Beatrice. Appreciate that. It's a group project here. Rush Ender would be the bulkiest of the team members. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe very, very sort of bottom heavy or like very stably based. Ooh, I really hate Frida's foot. That ain't great. Let me fix that real quick. Where'd she go? Oh my god, I hate your feet. Like a round pyramid-shaped character. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's go back to that shader brush that ends up being very good for concepting. Here's sort of my idea, right? Is maybe the legs sort of start about here, and maybe the arms are sort of within the silhouette, like this. And then, you know, the other one's here. And I don't know, maybe like maybe a face that looks like this. And maybe they're purple? I don't know. I mean, there's no wrong answers. Other than this. I think we have our rush ender. That was pretty fast. Alright, good. I was waiting to see Grimace in the chat, and then I was going to get rid of him. Okay. In all seriousness, let's play with that sort of wider base. I also feel like they'd need to be able to... I mean, they're still athletes. They're still sort of getting in the way, right? Grimace from the Gravity Falls universe. What an amazing original design. Well, thank you. I was waiting for someone to say how good an original he was. Main character of the various chicken McNugget shapes. I've got to see what some of these emojis are. They don't come through in the restream chat. Oh, I'm seeing them now. Now I get it. Now I get it. Please. Please. When will the rushes end? That is a really determined gnat. Just make the rushes stop. Won't you think of the rush enders? Legally distinct entity dissimilar to any fast food mascot. Now you're thinking. Has no legs at all and just moves with its arms, kind of like a gorilla blob. Now we've got a Chia from Neopet. Yeah, with like one of the weirdest like shoulder positioning drawings one could possibly make. But yes, definitely in Neopet's land. Neopet's making money these days? Who knows? Wasn't the bulk of their money from like advertising? I think they have like a subscription Neopet service now, which hopefully they make enough from. This is so silly. Yeah, this could be. Yeah, no legs is a vibe. Snail blocker, right? Stop. 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 Neopets is apparently rebuilding itself. Interesting. I like how he frolics. Return to Neopet. I did hear that. Oh, that's very funny. It's very, very funny. So strange to have been something. They're coming out with a TTRPG. That's so funny. Yeah, apparently I know that like Claire Hummel is one of the people that was working for Neopets. I saw her say something the other day about like it's weird to see like them still using assets that she drew when she was like 17. That would be very funny. Maybe we'll give him a sort of like legally nondescript like sort of shape on top like that. Actually, you know, I mean, it's obvious what I was trying to do there, but I kind of maybe like the idea of like a fat centurion, a wide-based centurion. Be kind of cool. Sort of, I mean, we do sort of have armor already. Do any characters wear big goalie gloves or mitts? I mean, we could put mitts on this guy. Huck was primarily using his tail to block things. Yeah, we're in a nice silly spot here. What about? Or even like, what if they were like the Queen's Guard and they had like the big... I don't know, I'm just thinking of different sorts of guards, right? But a fourth character was made, the silliest of them all. So whoever had asked about like what the best way to start a character is, I don't think there's, you kind of can't discount doing whatever this is over here. This really dumb, silly stuff. I do like to try to, I mean, everyone's different. John Lauren did say like, he likes making things that make him laugh. I do think making something that makes a reaction is very valid. And before you start sort of honing things in, like kind of tightening characters up and like making them serious, I do think it's helpful to be silly or goofy, just to find something that's sort of a bit silly. Maybe he's goo-like. Yeah, needs no mitt. Simply absorbs. He is mitt. He could be a story book too. Like, people could ask Huck why he doesn't wear goalie mitts, and he's like, don't worry about it. I don't need nothing. He could wear a tail mitt. Oh my goodness. Snail shell, Centurion helmet. How do we make this happen? Halt. Your rush has been ended. This guy's adorable. So. What if this character has no limbs, but shoots part of their body out to make whatever limb they need at that moment? Yeah, that'd be cool. I do get a little jealous of how easily you'd thumbnail digitally like this, and you just shrink and move around your ideas. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a nice thing about digital. But if I was in a sketchbook, I'd just be moving around different pages. Really, it's just a difference between a new page means like hiding everything and creating a new layer and everything, so that's the reason for it. Doesn't change too much functionally. Other than that, yeah, I can cut pieces around. Let me get this brush under text like over here. I know it was sort of where we... I don't know, I just want it out of the way. Right? This is so funny. I don't know that it fits our sport that much, but it's something. We have a pretty decent amount of sort of understanding of this world, right? I don't know that there's a lot more that we need, you know, unless you're sort of new to the stream and aren't fully aware. I feel like over the course of the last few days we've tightened things up. I mean, I guess like sort of the scoring and how the different teams work and sort of the meta, something I've thought a little bit about is like, you know, obviously, are you sort of teaming up against different teams? I think it still has to be the team with the most goals at the end of the game is the winner. So it can't be like, oh, you just team up to eliminate someone, because either way you're sort of leaving open a goal if you over prioritize one of the other teams too much. That's very silly looking. So, yeah, I like the gelatinous idea. I feel like some amount of structure. Yeah, like shooting out the little, like, maybe he's not completely on the ground, like goo-wise, right? Where, I don't know, I'm thinking kind of like you were saying about, I'm almost thinking like the symbiote from Spider-Man. Sort of like you can tell that it's not necessarily legs, but he's not completely on the ground. Does this track? Stop trying to make the snail thing work. It's not gonna work. The shell is a Professor X floating chair. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. Sits in his shell and rocks back and forth. Yeah. Interesting that you're making a sport aesthetic here for these characters, but it wouldn't take much to make them warriors or base defenders. Yeah, I think sports is very close to warfare. Just more productive use of energy a lot of times. Less destructive, I guess. Maybe scoring on the team with the highest points nets double points to encourage scoring in multiple goals. Oh yeah, discourage teaming. Yeah. I liked this sort of neck roll version of him. It's very cute. Maybe we keep those. Yeah, I do want to try a take where he is upturned a bit in the shell. That's almost like a form change or a stance change, like where, you know, sometimes he's rocking back and forth. And other times he's like sort of moving with the shell being dragged behind him, maybe, with the tendrils doing the actual connecting to the ground. I don't know. It's very graceful now. Oh, just so you guys know, I just got an email. Top deals at GameStop. You can save $50 on an Xbox Series X. I'm not sponsored, just wanted to let you guys know. Really glad we've gotten that email today. This is weird. This guy plays sports. This is a sport player. What are folks saying? Professor X floating chair is top suggestion. Yeah, that is a good idea. The shell being a mobility device is a nice contrast to his sticky qualities. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think snails are genderless, right? I like the unexpected idea that the hard part of the body makes him mobile, where the more flexible parts make him immovable. Yeah, I like that too. It's cool. I love how the shell is sort of like a beanie. Yeah, this one's almost, he's, thanks to the cute face, he's not an abomination. But yeah. Let's see. Because then we're almost getting into murder ball territory with the snail shell if it's sort of rolling. Like, okay, here's the thing, right? There are wheels. There are wheels in Stormfellers, right? We could do that. We could put wheels on a snail shell. Is it ethically the best thing for all the, like, folks who aren't in chairs to be, like, body checking this person? Maybe not. But it's an option. I'm just not sure how else, like, the shell moves, you know? He could be so much fun to animate, too. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Robbie? Sort of Michelin Man vibes with that last one. Yeah. Sort of the Michelin Man saying, I need your help, I need you to kill me. Yeah. How does the snail shell move without wheels? Because it can't really hover. Kind of designing ourselves into a corner, which isn't the worst place to be. I can do like kind of a scoop shape to it. Because otherwise, I mean, is it just that, you know, obviously they're going to be different kinds of creatures on each different team, so this is just the orange team that we're working with here, but maybe. You know, for this one. See you, little fox. Thanks for being here. They're just very, very sturdy wheels. Yeah, let's see. I mean, the other option here, right, is sort of this, right, where they're kind of like using the shell as a shield / battering ram. Yeah. We're orbiting something here. There's too many pieces of a good idea for this to go badly. Let's see. This could be a nice way to have Stormfellers style of mobility aid representation. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of that. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. Maybe like a bull treader would be a better use for someone who's using, you know, some kind of wheeled apparatus. I just like this sketch. I'm not really going to use it again. I just wanted to clean it. There we go. I'm sort of holding it like a shield here, but you can't really see much of his body, so it's just... What if water jetted? Mm-hmm. I thought there was a hand burst for a moment. Hey, it could be. Definitely some mints in there, man. All right. I mean, here's this, right? Here's something. And we haven't really actually fully gone big arm so far. You could have someone who is pushing or walking on Knuckles with the shell underneath, right? And then you can sort of like, you can do a tripedal running, right? And then also kind of do like body checks with the shell. That might be the move. I can refine that idea a little bit more. And yeah, let's pull all these together. Make them a little smaller, give us some more room. Okay. Any resonance here? Policy likes that. Cool. Worthington Blorpius John Cena. I think this might be John Cena's character. And you can't see him because he's translucent. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And he can still be sticky. And I think what would be cool is if we have the orange band just floating inside him. And the wristband. The wristband's in there too. I think that's great. Yeah. Let's work from this. Buff Sebulba, exactly. So let me get a little bit more like Donkey Kong with his limbs here. How are we doing on time? Okay, we got an hour and 15 for to finish our character. That's a good amount of time, I think. Doesn't have to be full on hands, but it should feel like a bit of a knuckle. Who said that? Do you guys hear that? Someone is squeaking. It could be a mouse or a chipmunk. That's so funny, outside. How magical. Hopefully they're okay. It's loud enough that it's happening like near my window. It's nice to I get a lot of wildlife where I am, which is awesome. Even though Acme messed up on me, I'll do better in this game. Alright, let me see if I can make sure the... Okay, I'm going to keep those arms on that layer. I'm going to connect these. We ended up not top heavy, but... Or bottom heavy. We ended up much more top heavy. I think this solves for everybody. think he's so transparent, because Biko is not transparent. Like, he is definitely gelatinous, but I mean, functionally within the animation, you know, he doesn't have any transparency. But this guy, we can really go all in on transparency. So even though part of the body is sort of occluded by other pieces in front of him, you can still show it behind us. That was so funny. Who was squeaking? They're done now. I'm glad it wasn't like a baby in distress. We're cooking. See, this is where resilience comes in on the design. You guys, you thought you had me. You thought you had me on the rope. You had me on the ropes. Didn't happen. Bert. Oh my gosh. I love Bert with R's. Thank you, Kay. Appreciate it. Glad he's cute. Geg. Illy. 48 is his name. Bert, yeah, Bert's pretty good. Let's see. Let me try one more pass on this body. In a different angle. I have never had someone squeaking outside my window before. Okay. I just kind of wanted to try, oops. Oh, I guess we're still on that layer. I just wanted to try something where we're messing with the, angles, just to, like, make a key pose where everything is visible a little bit more, where it's not like, oh, there's a snail shell behind there. It's like, okay, well, but could I see it, please? Hunching forward a little bit more here, and maybe that other arm can come back as a result. And yes, we are messing with transparency. I don't know that they would be completely transparent. I do think blue is the color. You do have to be a little careful with what color you make gelatinous things. There's a lot of warm tone colors. It just ain't it. A little distracting. We'll say that. Okay. That's pretty good. I think we get a good sense of what's behind him there. And I'll do this for the face. We'll get rid of that in a second. Chat. The Magic Spectrum. Welcome. That's alright. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Let's see, you know, this iteration could technically be every other iteration on the page too. Yeah, it's true. You just sort of find his final form here. I think the less. Oh, you know what we could do? The orange wrap inside him sort of looks a little bit like a smile. I'll do that. Cool. Down with that. And I just need to like kind of trim some of this back, I think. No, that was good. That was good where it was. All right. Yeah, no mouth. Oh, good, Magic Spectrum. Glad you found character design tips. We're working on something called Rush Whirling. It's a fictional sport in the world of Stormfellers, my animated series. As I was watching, I was looking for shell ideas and got lost in the world of seed pods and shark eggs. Yeah, that's a place to go. Stormfellers is great. Stormfellers is, you should see a trailer in the coming weeks. I think we're down to, I could say weeks. And then the full release, hopefully by the end of the year. Before the end of the year. That's what I'm on track for. Yeah, so that wrap will be not as visible in the render. And I think this character, in order to like fully make him work, we need to render. Where's that? This arm. Let's bring it over a little bit. Oh, do I want this arm up on the kind of the crest of that shoulder? Let's do that. There we go. This is someone who absolutely ends rushes. There's no doubt about that. It is coming soon. Exactly. Yeah. I can see this. Imagine this character being disqualified because they took off their team colors by leaving an armband stuck to the ground by accident. Exactly. Ooh, pigs. Dropping stuff on my keyboard. I do love that this fella still does their best to wear the team equipment. It's standard. It's standard issue. What's this line? Let's get rid of that. Okay. So this character a bit more than our others, and because we have about an hour left of the stream, we will need to fully render. So I won't take my existing sketch and like just add color to it the way I did with these other guys. I will group everything that we have currently. No, I won't do that. I mean, I will do that, but in a second. Pull this out of the rest of that layer. There we go. Okay. Now I can group. And flatten. All right. Bring this over here. Hide that. And we'll do just a fun little render. I think this is sort of the colors that we end up with. Maybe like this. A highlight up in this range. Oh, that's too much actually. Something more like this. Yeah. And on your edges, you kind of have a little bit of like that. And you have a little bit of that for your shadowed end. Split the diff. Nice. Okay. Let me do a new layer with, yeah, we'll keep this blue. Let's do that. Bert. Let's see. What are your thoughts on using Flip? I have no idea what Flip a Clip is. I feel like I've seen people talk about it before. Is it a legitimate drawing app? Can you use a stylus and things like that? I've seen people do, like even Tay has done like some crazy intricate things with like phone art apps, but to me, if I can't really have a pencil, I don't know that I really see the point for like extended, try hard, best I can do kind of work. If it's working for you, go for it. That's kind of my feeling on like Procreate Pocket. It's like, it's great to have, and I do use it for like photo editing on the go. But I just don't think it's a big enough like screen for me. Even with like one of those little like touch stylus rubber bits, just not ideal. Like I could see maybe in a pinch using something like that, and you know, doing all my drawing and sketching physically and then taking a photo of it and then using that to render. Like, you know, maybe the ink or something would be a little rough, but like all I'm doing is replicating and drawing what I've already drawn. I don't need as much control. Like, you know, to color something in on mobile is a much easier ask than using it to do full drawings, in my humble opinion. Maybe you've got a giant phone and a really good stylus, but for me, I don't personally see the point. Combined with physical drawing, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Wooden seed carriers. That's cool. Aerial seeding, like dropping seeds from above for planting and stuff. It's pretty sweet. I do love those kinds of rabbit holes. I'd love like a version of that meme where it's like, he's probably thinking about other women, and it's like the guy's like thinking about code or something like that. I think there is a version of it where it's like someone's looking at a phone, but I could think like 90% of the time the Tay's like, what are you on your phone with? And it's just like, I'm deep in some research thing. Or I'm 5 miles deep in trivia on the movie we just watched. Good research leads to good art. I'll say that. All right. Oh, you know what? We should connect this this shell on the inside. We can kind of build this up, the transparency of this by layer if we wanted to. And just take each shape by hierarchy and move it forward. But I do like the idea of sort of terminating my lines before they reach the actual edge, if it's inside the gelatin. Spiral shape. That's cool. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the squareness. Yeah, I just wanted it to show that he's in it and not it is him, you know? If that makes sense. wants to drop in, say that they're making their own animated series, and then duck out like someone does almost every video, and earlier in this stream, feel free to do so. It's so funny. My patience for it is very strained at this point. I'm like, so then make it. I don't know, I'm very supportive of everybody, but that one's almost a meme to me at this point. Kirby eyes. And much like Kirby, he absorbs everything he touches. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about Kirby eyes, right? The Tao of Bert. Is he in it or of it? Magic Spectrum, I like a lot of Skylanders designs, actually. It depends on the game and the designer and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, the Spyro from Skylanders isn't, like, fantastic, but there's some really good designs. I think it's, is it Swap Force? I think has some of the best designs in the series. Away from tangents on that edge. Cobby. Gabby. Love the concept of Skylanders and Disney Infinity. I just enjoyed the cool figures. Yeah, the same thing with... I mean, you can probably see there's a bunch of Disney Infinity figures behind my head. Oh, my giant curly hair. You know, there's some up there. And I think a couple of Skylanders, too. Stink Bomb and Scratch or something like that are up there. Tempest Chop Downers. Fine if you wish, I'm planning on doing so. Oh, this is about one person in particular who's almost trolling me at this point. Not you in particular. Feel no pressure. But yeah, if you're working on something animated, more power to you. It's fun and it's hard. Let's see. Tempest Chop Downers. I thought it was Chow Downers. I first read. I thought serves me right for reading fast. Tempest Chop Downers is a trademark of the Walt Disney Company. Okay. Let's do this. And maybe a tiny bit of thickness to our... No thickness. It's a ribbon. That's what it's gonna be. And we will, like, color the lines of this to be so that they're more subtle. Like, it won't just be a giant smile on his face that's the same value as his eyes, which are on the outside. You know, we'll tone them back a bit. And, like, sort of show the outline of the ends of his nubs here, maybe. Yeah, it's cool. All right. Now it's just smooth sailing. I think if you stick around to the end of the stream, I will talk about a couple of things that are coming soon for me that I'll skirt around the legal sides of some of it. Things coming from me, from sort of by me, and yeah, just set some expectations. To me, honestly, this weekend was a little bit of a thank you to everyone who's been a long time supporter, who's been patient while I am sort of I've been a little bit MIA with regard to like uploads and stuff. I've been keeping up with the backpack, so patrons are definitely still taken care of. Anything else from me, it's just the making a giant free video that is meant to succeed on the algorithm that is a little bit more sparse for me these days. But I appreciate everybody who's been very patiently waiting for Stormfellers, who supports the videos, and especially those who I've helped out through like the shop and the plush and things like that. Okay. Let's do this. We will take our lighter color and sort of fade it out. And we will take out the edges of it. We can follow the same shape. And take back out that top side. We'll see how we like that. I will do the same over on the other side, except I'll do it on a new layer so I can mess with the opacity even more. And instead of needing to erase, I'll just keep it from the edges in the first place. Okay. A name I'm heavily considering is Stargem Shine. Ooh, that's pretty cool. The protagonist for my game's name is Kibo, and he has a duffel bag. Kibo's duffel bag. You'll rake it in on Patreon. Always happy to support. You've given a ton back with your lessons and inspiration. Well, thank you. I do like there's a part of me that understands that like I have generated goodwill at certain points, but that many people are probably more in the what have you done for me lately side of things, unfortunately. Or that's what it feels like when, you know, the channel's done better than it in other times than it is now, you know. But I appreciate that. I've been following you for years. Introduce politics. Oh, I remember politics. I remember that. Well, thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, this light's going crazy. Yeah, I feel like I remember politic comments from like the first year of making videos, like maybe from a Q&A or something like that. I really appreciate that. Hey, look, we're both old now. Isn't that crazy? At least I am. Yeah, I've heard of Billy Bust Up. It's cool. I've been a mutual of is it Katie? The main person for a long time. It's pretty funny that like I think we had a very short conversation about like, yeah, Jacqueline is a sheep and Billy's a goat, and they are very cute cartoons in a video game. Anyway, this is low opacity. So there will inevitably be some comparisons to Billy Bust Up, but that's fine. It's a cool looking thing. It's cool that they have been able to make so much progress on that. And Kickstarter, it successfully kickstarted. What happened to... Oh. That was dumb. There's a reason why we do things on new layers. And I like the idea that it's a musical video game. Like, that's cool. Go. A Showtunes style game to the beat. There's been a lot of rhythm games recently that that aren't Rock Band, or like what's like Crypt and was it Soundfall? A lot of things like that. Katie Nelson, yeah, exactly. One problem is the YouTube algorithm hasn't pushed your content, so I always have to search for it specifically. Yeah, yep. That's what happens. Ash Ortiz does the character. Yeah, they brought on like a full-on character designer now too, right? Should pay more attention to how you picked your color scheme. Oh, completely vibes. Bust Up even has an orchestra funded by BackerKit funded. Recorded in the Warner Brothers soundstage. That's awesome. Trombone Champ, yeah. Hi-Fi Rush, yeah, another one. A lot of games like that are relying on your rhythm as well as your, platforming or other mechanical skills, which is pretty cool. I don't have much to add to that other than, hey, neat. Okay, let me do a full-on cut with this brush. And then we can do that soft brush. And drop the opacity. It's still a very like bog standard coloring job that we're doing here. This reminds me of the snake from Beanie Babies back in the first wave of Beanie Babies. It was blue with this sort of lime green. Okay, so we're coloring everything, but then we come in and take it back out. So take this out completely. And then I will select everything that's within the gelatin. I'll give it the old one too. Oh, just realized I have a brush that kind of gives away some of my work. Or some of my NDA stuff. It's interesting. And then, do I want to just kind of take away the edge of this? Yeah. Cool. And then also I want to reselect this part that's under the arm. This is now 2 layers of gelatin that we're trying to look through. So it's like going to be barely visible. Nice. Hi-Fi Rush, engaging with the live will bring your content more often with me too. Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, I've heard of Glitch. I think I was talking with them a little bit about Stormfellers, and like what partnering with them looks like. But I'm very content to be indie all the way. I know they're indie stuff too, but like indie is like independently mine, at least for now. At least until something exists and we see what sort of the reaction to it is. I wish animating patterns in 2D was easier. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Just go full chowder. Just make it an overlay. Okay, and I'll do a little bit of this where hey, hello. Follow me. Back off some of the light on that back end, and the same over here. It is going to be funny that this one character is way more rendered than the rest, but he needs it. Okay, now we'll back this down a bit. All right. So that is that. And let me do some, can we merge all these? That's cool. I like that. He needs more blue in this. These snail tentacles. Blue and orange, perfect combo. Design a dragon with that color scheme. They're very complementary. Oh, good. You're right, Beatrice. Time to market my hero shooter. I hear they're only succeeding these days. There's nowhere to go with it up. Thinking of suggesting black stripes or something on one of the characters. How much of a pain striped characters can be to animate. Yeah, that's true. But the nice thing is that my characters are technically 3D models, so you only have to build it once. Bubbles in the body? Yes. Yeah, we're definitely going to do some bubs. Some bubble dubs. I want to make sure that our let's clip on top of this, and then now see I had to get what the color was for this orange first, so that now I can do a little bit of a line color, except it needs to be like that. Yeah, there we go. That's the right color. All right, and then I just want a couple of areas of sort of the same dark purple. It's interesting, I actually a lot recently am not using like a pre-selected color palette for things, but I think because it's gelatin, there's just only, I mean, there's plenty of ways you can go, but like, I don't know, I'm used to certain ways of flavoring it. No jello, pun intended. This down. And doesn't have to be that strong, I think. He's so shiny. All right, yes, bubble time. Jellyton sounds like a Pokemon. It does. What are your thoughts on paper doll style character design? I don't know if I know that. Is that a specific like franchise, or do you mean like designs that are like the body shape is always the same, and then you just like put skins on top or clothes, outfits on top? A little bit of blur on these bubbles. Just a tiny bit. Oh, I love him. He's so cool. A little shading on the shell as well. The second one. I guess I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Thank you. Gets mad and starts to boil. Yeah, exactly. Actually, speaking of, yeah. So Glitch did that thing recently where they like launched a company that's mainly fulfillment for like merch and you know, plushes and stuff like that. It's crazy that they were able to do like pop-up shops after one episode of their show, which is pretty cool. But Rito, who's been in here a couple times recently, is the 3D artist for Akida. And then Luis Puerta is one of the background artists on that as well. Oh, yeah, we need shell color. Let's use that. Oh, is this? Yeah, hold on. This is not the same opacity. I'll just make a new one. I might darken this up a little bit. Amazing Glitch doing some cool stuff. Yeah, it's promising for indie stuff, you know? Like I can't hate. It's very exciting. Yeah. Nope, always the good things. Okay. Darken that puppy and drop it down a little bit. And the only thing is that this needs to be a much bluer color. So we'll do that as it descends behind the jelly there. Cool. Not bad. Makes the rest of characters look completely unfinished. Maybe that's how we spend our last half hour on the stream, is kind of cleaning up the other guys. All right, well, Bert was pretty great. Do I hear better name? Do I hear better name? Going once. That's so good. I usually use the paper doll style for my human characters. I guess I just don't super know the specifics of what that is. I mean, I know what a paper doll is, obviously, and I can infer kind of using the same template for designs. It's also something that I've kind of like discouraged people like away from in certain cases where, like, you know, body shape and things like that are all very similar. And I call it like t-shirt torso syndrome. I've definitely said that in a couple videos, where the torso is just a cylinder as a medium for t-shirts, right? And that's cool, but you can actually actually get a lot of variety out of varying body shape and going a little bit more extreme sometimes. But yeah. Okay. I actually think we need a little bit of a better sketch of like what rush whirling is also. But we'll see what we have time for. Oh, she's... Where is my other Frida? Here? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to duplicate this. And bring her down here. And I'm going to do some cleanup. Because these are all very messy lines, and there's not a ton we can do about it. But we can try. They won't look Bert levels of rendered, but we can get some of the way there. I really like the sketchiness of like ginger beer, but there's things we can do. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you know, draw a model, then draw the character clothing on another frame. Yeah, that's perfectly viable. I know, Brooks, look at these characters. Practically all four of them are the exact same body shape. You're not wrong. All of them have a shape to their body. That's undeniable. Let's see. This will get rid of. I think colored line art will get us half the way there, and maybe a multiply layer can split the difference. Just so that one of our characters isn't like, whoa! You clearly spent more time on that one. Which we kind of didn't. We just figured out his design and then went from there. Okay. There we go. That's most of the way. A little more saturation. A little more red. Actually, yeah, let's keep it over there, and then we can add. We can make this a little darker. Okay. Oh, good. All right. Good, good, good. All right. I just leave it black and white. That's cool too. Yeah. I really enjoy color. Really brings things to life. And then illustrations, you know, going like fully rendered like my trading card illustrations. I like some color. It saved me a lot of time to just keep things all flat or black and white or whatever. That's definitely for sure. But I think I have a hard enough time already getting people to appreciate the Vigo's backpack stuff without putting less work into them. That makes sense. Let's see. I have used that style when choosing clothes for a character when I have the body worked out already. Yeah, exactly. I've definitely done that too. It's nice to like, you can just cut shapes out for clothes. Fun fact, Bert's shell is hiding a grenade, dynamite, and a bazooka. Yeah, he's on the no-fly list. Yeah, you guys didn't know that already? Let's see. Yeah, sure. It's interesting how the color palettes between these four aren't terribly different. Like the blue is definitely an outsider on Bert. But the rest, like orange, green, yellow, beige, neutral browns. It's interesting. They look like they go together, which is nice. Okay, now, ever so quickly, we can give her some dimension. This is just a multiply layer that I'm cutting away from with a soft brush. It's not a replacement for painting, but it helps block in a certain amount of, light and shadow. Do a little bit of a cast shadow on that beak there, the snoot. Get rid of all this. I have a little bit of a bad habit of like kind of only cutting away from similar shapes and not just getting rid of all of the shadow in an area. Try to avoid that a little bit. I was thinking that Brooks would be a good Skylanders designer. Oh, thank you. That'd be cool. If they ever did more with Skylanders, I'd be down for it. Not the no-fly list. It's true. It's true. He's a danger to society. Okay, and I can just do some very quick little shadow shapes on her here. If you're not used to coloring this way, just look at how, 10 minutes we've gone from something that looks like a comic sketch to halfway illustrated or painted. Just with a little light sculpting. And if you'd like to learn more, make sure to check out the Learn Character Design course at learncharacterdesign.com. Speaking of which, new stuff coming for that. New stuff coming for that. A course with Domestica. I think I can say that out loud. I was super secretive about the fact that I was filming that course in Spain. Only that I had gone to Spain, and then I saw other people who were filming their courses, and these really nice guys that helped film and everything. There were people straight up posting on their Instagram story that they were filming them. So I'm like, okay, well I guess there's not too much NDA stuff going on with that. Okay, duplicate that, flatten it. Oops. Let's see. Oh, sweet. Got a good email just now. That's nice. All right. There's Frida. Let's find Huck. Yeah, I went to Spain up in March or April. Looking forward to the updates for Learn Character Design. Yeah. Mainly, I've just thought a lot about, how to learn, how courses work, how being self-guided or not, can go, and also just I've gotten better at drawing and teaching and understanding certain concepts better since I last made that. So yeah, now it's just a matter of time. And the price definitely will go up, because that was 5 years ago that the price changed, and not by much. Okay, this is a duplicate? Yeah, it's a duplicate. these together. We'll throw on a bit of color for I've heard of Domestica and I've obtained a few fun ones like Nick. Yeah, Nick has a great course on there. My course on Domestica will not be character design related, just so you know. Let's go to something else. So I already got a course on character design. I don't need to make it with somebody else. What if he never told you he went to Spain and you just found out? She came with me. It was fun. Schoolism used to be monthly 15. It used to be 15, really? Yeah, schoolism's quite expensive. Okay, and just the eye color here. You see what I do when I'm picking like these line art colors? I'm mainly just going down and over into saturation. And sometimes I'm doing a little bit of a hue shift, like maybe this could deserve a hue shift. Okay. Oh, and I need some darker colors for this actual swirl in the tail. Hey, we've got swirls on both of these guys. That's cool. Both of the defensive positions have some swirls on them. They're circling the bowl. Okay. Hope he unpacked you long enough to eat some paella. Yes, we had paella in the last night. It was good. Any of the fun? He sort of secretly got through security. Yeah, Udemy I never really got into. These are when schoolism started out years ago via Kickstarter. Really? Then why don't you marry a suitcase? Then why don't you marry an ice cream sandwich? We're doing on time. Okay, we're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. And the nice thing about shading with this is just be really intentional about what the shadow is doing, you know? Like, what form is this now creating on your character? The squirrel whirl around the... Yeah, rush whirling. Rush whirling. Spaniards are weird. Where do they keep their dinner tuxedos? Exactly. Every once in a while we'd have someone a little bit ruder than necessary over there, but it was lots of extremely nice people. Actually, they're all asleep right now, so they're in the middle of dinner right now. 6 hours ahead of us, so you can say whatever we want. But no, they're genuinely lovely. Okay, a little bit of light on the old tum. They wear those in the bullfighting arena, unfortunately. Yeah, Tay's. It was crazy because, yeah, going over there, it's like, oh yeah, these are Tay's people for sure. A lot of folks in the U.S. who are Spanish come from South America, and so while she doesn't look quite as South American as most South American folks, she definitely looks like she fits in Spain. It was nice for her. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. Good with that. Good with the hook. Okay, and now I think the only thing is that our gingivier will, let's hide, hold on, let's come down, let's hide that thing. Let's get everybody cleaned up. Get everybody ready for social media. Where is the... We're just way too many layers at this point. Okay. Fun fact, in Procreate, if you select multiple layers like that and start dragging them in a selection, you'll lose a lot of the colors and it will be a little bit disconcerting. But then as soon as you stop the selection, it'll come back. It's a nice little mini heart attack as a treat. Okay, Frida. And our little hook. Oh, he's... he's got a whole lot of filled in color here to get rid of. There we go. Is he smaller now? There. Fix his bounding box. Okay, gingivier time. Ooh, oh good, he's still good. He's still big. Back when we had room on this canvas. Bring him up here. Perfect. And hide the other one. Sorry, I know layer organizing is not that interesting. Especially when it's so disorganized. Block. Hide this one. Okay. And one more. Where is this? Okay. This will be interesting because a lot of this is incredibly gestural, and so cleanup might actually detract from his overall look. But we'll go for it. Betraying the culture. The bulls were offended. The great grandmother had a huge ceramic bull and bullfighter above her house. Oh yeah, that is definitely House Atreides. Bugs Bunny will always be the best bullfighter. True. I've been thinking about this. What got you interested in drawing art? I've just always loved doing it. Yeah, most complicated only because of how gestural and sketchy he is. I don't believe we're Spanish at all. Yeah, in Dune, the grandfather of Paul Atreides is a bullfighter. Okay, and there's a little bit of like a bit of a story thematic reasoning to that, where his dad sort of charges headlong or faces down dangerous things. Okay, so shade. What? Get those layers in here. We'll keep the wings separate. We will cut away some of this stuff. Clean them up for prime time. I mean, this is so loose that if we had time, I would just do a new sketch over top. But being a little mindful of the clock. Is there a stadium for the game in Stormfellers? Yeah, so the idea is that... Oh, now I hid that layer. But the idea is that each village in Stormfellers would have their own sort of dug out bowl. At least the larger villages would have an arena for this, and that, you know, each village would have their own team that would travel to other villages and be a grand old time. Haven't mentioned it today, but one of my favorite parts about this idea is the fact that they, you know, come from an island that's sort of bowl-shaped and that they're hedged by mountains on all sides, and so this game is sort of emblematic of their life and their island, and the storms come out the center of the island and they throw the goals back into the middle of the island, or back in the middle of the game, and the goals. So it's kind of cool. I'm pleased with myself for that association. Okay, we got 9 minutes. 9 minutes to shade a guy. And again, folks, I have a hard out of 6 o'clock to help with an airport run. Pick up some friends from the airport. Otherwise, we'd go till we weren't going anymore. Oh, Clay, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Let me know what your sketch request is. I know there's not really an option on the site to do that, but please let me know in a way that won't disappear in the chat. That's awesome. Let's see. So now we can... This is what I'll end up doing on certain... Oh. That's right. These are transparent, these layers. Okay, we'll work with it. But what I like to do is I'll copy everything, both color and line like this, and then make a new layer that's all black so that you can see. Oh no. Oh no. All right, it's okay. We'll select the outside of this and then do invert, and that should get us most of the way there. So then now I just have a selection that will work for our multiply layer. Yeah, see, this is why we don't get reckless with our color layers. Oh, good. So we pay the consequences. And I'm going to turn this down already, because it's too much. All right. Yeah, for sure, Clay. Absolutely. I like how they all have jet black eyes, but they all have a different vibe. Yeah, no real pupils. Who's that Pokemon? Exactly. I just love the kind of the dimensionality you can get from adding shading like this. As simple as it is. Soft shading. explosion type stuff. That's coming from over his shoulder like this. So now we have cast shadows. Alright, y'all. I'll do one last plug for the virtual booth sale. Get yourself a plush, get yourself some prints, get yourself some cards. Support more Stormfellers being made. And stay tuned for more stuff from me. Yeah, so there's that course, there's trading cards coming. That's a ways away. Some of my client trading card work is probably a year away. But yeah, LinkedIn will tell you who that's for. And thanks for your patience on Stormfellers. New videos also. Like I said, the Luminoid is a little bit of a hint toward what that's gonna be. Probably not at all what people are expecting. Okay. Comparing the rendering on him versus Bert is very funny. Maybe I'll turn it up a little bit and then I'll take like a really soft brush, really big, and keep chipping away from there. Yeah, oh, that's cool. Heck yeah. Now, my only question is, why is it that this color... Oh, that's right. I need to do, like, individual orange colors here. That's sticking out a bit. Oh, take care, people who are leaving. Mammal, bird, insect, goop, exactly. It's not a Pokemon. Nempo. Glad I got to see some of this. Thanks for sharing this time with us. You're absolutely. Luminoid game like Mario vs. Donkey Kong. No. But I like the you're on a you're thinking with gas. Still videos. I don't know why, but this layer doesn't have the edge of this. So we'll just messily add it in. It's even messier than this already messy character. There we go. Folks! Let me hide a couple more things here. Uno, dos, tres. Oh, I gotta say, you hide that, but then bring that line back. I'm gonna keep this. Oops, sorry. Except for a little bit of explanation. I've gotta say, for what is ostensibly 9 hours, it was about a little over 1 workday. It's not bad. We came up with a full sport. And, you know, not peak, like, focus. I was chatting up with you folks. Say, you know, if we had been able to come up with a better sketch of like the arena and stuff like that, which I might do if I plan on sharing this at all. Definitely some future trading cards in here, that's for sure. You guys had a part in making that, which is pretty sweet. Okay, let's do that. And maybe we'll bring this over to there. Oh. What's that? Hey, we made a sport. You and me. Well done. Pretty great. Yeah, request can be anything, Clay. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. See you, man. See you, Robbie. Score bunny. Oh, fun. That's awesome. Let me write that down. Fun. That actually goes well with some client stuff we've been doing recently. Sweet. Absolutely. All right, y'all. I think it's 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here all weekend. The stream will keep, or the sale rather, will keep going until I think midnight and maybe a little bit into tomorrow as well. So you can still run over and check that out. But for now, these streams will be, I think, the last two have been visible on the site or on the channel. And thanks for being here. Look for more from me soon. And appreciate you hanging out. Take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday.